Welcome to Cantina Vizsla. For the safety of the bartenders and any other patrons, remember to keep all arms, legs, tentacles, or any other extremities you may have to yourself at all times. So come right in, grab a drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Coming to you from the Panic Room in the crap part of the cantina, I'm Sparrow, and with me, as always, is a man who some say is currently building a separate room in his house to keep everything from celebration. All I know is, as I call him, Stan.
That's not far from the truth. I am looking at remodeling my office to make it a Star Wars room, just full of all the crap I'm going to get in 4 days.
I mean, you got to add trap doors or something. At least make it a little interesting, right?
Yeah, I gotta do something.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a few weeks.
Yeah, you're telling me. It's been a lot of running around. I thought it'd be a great idea to go through. I was like, man, you know what? After going through, I was talking to you, talking to my brother, and I was like, you know what? Maybe it isn't my internet that's absolute crap. Maybe my computer is, it's 6, 7 years old. It's just a little Mac Mini. Maybe I'm just overloading it, considering I have every port shoved full and then running multiple applications, streaming, soundboard, everything going on. Maybe I'm just overloading it, so I'll get a new computer. And let me tell you, it did the trick. It makes everything a lot easier to go through and do. Downside is, not 100% as far as the whole recording, saving everything, whole new operating system did not work out so well last week. So we are going to go over 2 weeks of news because my computer decided to restart itself. It did something and just closed everything out. So
yeah,
I lost the
autosave didn't kick in. It was...
Yeah, R2-D2 was yelling at it and did a little beep boop, beep boop, and it was gone.
Actually, what happened was our podcast attempts per month were dropped from 8 to 5. So we weren't able to get that one out.
We were nerfed.
Yeah, so it's going to be a weird show. We're going to talk about a couple things we probably talked about, but didn't get out there. I can't keep track of it. So if you heard it before, I'm sorry. If not, well, here you go.
Yeah, it's been a rough week. We are going to do the best we can to remember what we did talk about and what we didn't talk about, and bear with us. So before we get into that, I mean, Stan, I know you're like, celebration is super close. Where are you sitting at this? I mean, are you okay? Do we need to send help? Do we need to lock you in the panic room so you can actually go through and make it there safely?
No, I'm feeling good. We did a lot of packing this weekend. Did some house cleaning so we can come back to a clean house and throw Star Wars crap everywhere. Got my itinerary mostly set. Really just waiting on. They're doing lotteries for the big panels, like the Episode 9 panel, The Mandalorian. They're lotterying out the seats, and we'll find out if we win. Probably either late tomorrow or Tuesday. And that's going to determine a lot of what the other stuff I do. So that's really the last thing I'm waiting on. Oh, man, I just can't wait. I'm not going to get anything done at work this week, just sitting around daydreaming and kind of planning my routes and all the crap I'm going to buy.
Constantly checking to see if you actually win in that lottery.
Yeah. I'm going with the mindset that I'm not going to see any cool panels firsthand. I'm not going to get my hands on any cool exclusives. And you know what? That's fine. I'm still getting to fly across the country to spend 5 days just immersed in Star Wars. And if that's the worst thing that happens to me, so be it.
That's right. It's a good way to look at it. So
yeah.
What else do you have planned when you're up there?
Man, just going to see everybody. I'm going to try to swing by the EA booth and talk to the CG. Try to do some kind of daily recording audio diaries and maybe find a way to get those put up. Try not to bring a whole lot of equipment and junk with me. So we'll play better. We'll see how it goes. I am going to have some Cantina Vizsla swag. So if you are going to Celebration, shoot me a message. Let me know where you're at, and we'll try to meet up, do a selfie or something, and go from there. I'd love to meet some people.
Man, people can meet the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah. described as, was it Josh Turner and Darth Vader's love child that was raised in a bayou and grew up to love Star Wars.
You got to be known for something, right?
That was the probably best explanation I've ever heard. So that was awesome.
that is definitely a good one. So, man, I mean, you're going to be basically useless all week, so I don't even know what to go through. So, are you going to put in something on Netflix to watch on the plane, or what are you watching here?
I may need a break from Netflix. We talked about I'm in season 2 of the OA, and I know I've talked about the OA on this show before, and it's one of those. I watched it, I was entertained by it. I don't know if I like it. It is just so weird.
Yeah, that's the only other one I can kind of go through and see that with is kind of Black Mirror. But Black Mirror, it's individual episodes, so you can kind of go through and take that weirdness and be like, oh, it's just that one episode. I can find something else I like and come back to it. The OA is like an overall season, so you have to pay attention to the whole plot line, which makes it a lot more difficult for me with how weird it is.
Yeah, and I think I'm a little bit further along, and you watch it and you're like, okay, I think I got it. I think I figured it out. And then they just take another few steps. And you're like, well, okay, well, back to the drawing board. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm watching the OA also. I'm only like three episodes in, so I'm on the 4th episode. You're episode
on
8.
7 or 8.
Yeah, so you're actually pretty
there.
close to the end, because they usually do 12 episode seasons. But we did that one's odd.
It's very odd.
I have this other thought in my head as far as Celebration goes, and a sudden realization that Game of Thrones starts.
Yes.
How are you going to watch that when you're at Celebration? I mean, I'm sure there's going to be people that are all about Game of Thrones, so you'll probably be able to find a bar, believe it or not, to watch it if you really need to.
There are a couple of bars. Yeah, there's a couple of bars doing viewing parties. I think the hotel will probably have HBO. I kind of think I'm just going to be dead tired and just want to go back to my room and chill out and watch it. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Man, can't wait. Yeah, this is crazy. About this time next week, we will have the episode 9 title, more than likely, a trailer. We'll have Game of Thrones back in action, seeing how that's playing out. That's going to be a whole new world.
Yeah, they went through, and I was seeing pictures this weekend from up in State College because the Jonas Brothers were playing a concert in State College for some reason, and Joe Jonas brought Sophie Turner with him. And apparently they're like going through, there's this huge line that's like 2 blocks long going through with all these underage college students and high school kids all there to see Joe Jonas. And I'm like, I guarantee everybody inside the bar is like, why are we listening to the Jonas Brothers? Bring out Sophie Turner.
Right. Yeah, we want to tell us something.
Yeah. Jonas
That's one
Brothers,
thing that
you can get outside. We want more Sophie Turner. Just bring her over here.
Yeah, that's one thing that sucks about the timing of this with Celebration is like Gwendolyn Christie and Amelia Clark, they're tied up with the Game of Thrones junket, so they're not going to be at Celebration unless they're kind of an unannounced guest. So would like to meet them, but hey, maybe next time.
Hey, got it one thing at a time, and you kind of have to take advantage of the whole Game of Thrones things. It's a little popular.
Yeah, it's real popular right now. We'll see if the trend lasts. Again, Star Wars too, real grassroots effort to keep this little franchise going.
Yeah, I know they're only building amusement parks and little things like that. Nothing major. So you're all doing that. I've been going through setting up the whole computer. I actually got a webcam, getting everything set up, slowly working towards maybe doing a live stream. Actually, when we're guest hosting on other places, I can actually go through and turn on a webcam now. I've been building lamps and actually have everything built out in my office for like shelving and everything. And I was showing you, do not have a lot of memorabilia or swag or anything like that to actually fill the shelves with. So
it join us down really in collectibles.
Yeah,
we'll help you spend that money.
Yeah, it feels really weird right now. Like going through, I'm like, oh man, the shelving looks amazing. Oh wait, I don't have anything to put on it. So that's like, I don't know how I feel about that. So yeah, I'm still working on that, but we'll go through and get there. Now, that was a lot of 2 weeks of hodgepodge put together stuff. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of what's happened within the game.
Yeah. Oh man, my roster is a hodgepodge of meat and potatoes right now. I've still working on my Sith Empire team. I did get HK and Fallen Bastille up to Gear 12. Put one Zeta on each of them. Started out with Sith Apprentice and Loyalty to the Maker. I'll probably end up putting together one on HK when I get it. And yeah. And now I'm just trying to piece together some more Grand Arena and Territory War teams. Working on Django and Sith Assassin. Just kind of filling in holes. Nothing too exciting. What about you?
So, like, when you're going through and saying you're filling in Grand Arena teams and Territory War teams, are you going through and just kind of building out the teams and then figuring out what characters you need to gear to fill in those teams, or what are you missing? Mods? Mostly rounding it out, mods and gear on like one or two characters, because being a PvE focused player, I can get a team up to about 80-90%, and that's good enough for everything on the PvE side of the game. So I gear 12 on a few characters, leave the rest at gear 10 or 11, and generally do okay. That doesn't fly too much in Grand Arena and Territory War. So the last character, I'm trying to get them all up to gear 12, put good mods on them. Okay.
And round them out.
So you're running into the same situation I am. Like, I was going through, I think it was in my Shard chat, we were going back and forth, and I was talking about being in the same spot that you are, that I went through, started taking the game more seriously, and really only focused on Arena, which is great, and you do build out great teams for it. But now with Territory Wars and Grand Arena, you go through and realize you're kind of missing out those key characters for a synergy team for an actual faction, because what Arena has been like CLS, Thrawn, R2. You have a hodgepodge of characters. Even Traya, you have Thrawn and like Nest in there, or some sort of combination. So you never actually had a full Sith team in there. So I don't have a full Sith team, believe it or not. I have the trio at Gear 12, but that's about it. So to do that, a couple more pieces of Jedi. I know your pain. I'm running into that situation very much so right now.
Yeah. There are worse problems to have.
Yeah, it goes through. It's just I can't commit on what character I want to gear. I'm like trying to look at these characters to build out finish out that team, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this person, and I'm like, but this person would be another character that would fit very well into that team. It's a different mentality, and it's mind-boggling, and trying to take these bits and pieces and figuring out what team they go into. I'm always struggling, trying to figure out where to put Thrawn in one of my Grand Arena teams. He fits into everything, but it's like, do I really want to waste him there?
Yeah, I still use Thrawn with my Triumvirate, just to get him to go first, switch the turn meter with Darth Nihilus, get him to do his Force Drain, and that pretty much seals the deal on anybody there. Of course, it does take a full team away, but it guarantees a win. You just kind of got to pick and choose what you want to do there.
Yeah, the trio I always kind of have it as a flex team, because I can go through and just use them as the trio and pretty much easily get a win and get all those bonus points. So it's kind of a weird situation. But yeah, as far as me in the game, man, I'm finally getting to that point where I can start wrapping up characters. So I did time out Darth Revan perfectly. Did not have to buy any more shards. The only shards I bought to get Darth Revan was spent 2,000 crystals for 25 shards at Karth. That was it. So both Juhani and Karth, both are 7 stars, which means I did get Darth Revan unlocked without a problem.
Nice.
Immediately went through and did all 3 Zetas on Darth Revan and both Zetas on HK-47, which ended up putting me at 4.3 million GP.
Pretty respectable.
Yeah, I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's bad. I don't know whether...
Maybe it's another
Drill is it Chewie? I really am questioning this whole thing right now as far as that goes. But we're getting there. Been struggling through Grand Arena in this new GP bracket. Getting Darth Revan done and those farms done freed up some energy. So I actually did get Young Han finished up this week also. So once again, I mean, just chipping away, have a couple more characters that are ready to go and be 7-starred also. So pretty exciting as far as for me, just because I enjoy the collection part of this game just as much as Arena and Territory Wars, Grand Arena, and building the strategies. So having these characters actually get completed is really gratifying for me.
Yeah, I love checking off a block. Yeah. Whatever little part of my brain that releases that dopamine, yep.
Yeah.
Does it every time.
Yep, and having a whole bunch of line up, and they're all going to tick off one by one and get completed. Really excited over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, you're kind of in that part of the game where you're about to finish up just a ton of stuff all at once.
Yeah, especially because of just where I had to stop farming when Jedi Knight Revan came out, and then Darth Revan and Millennium Falcon stopped. So, yeah, really close to both the Bounty Hunter ships finishing up, really close to Django finishing up, really working on Sith Marauder and Aura Singh. They're getting there. They're almost 6 stars, ready to go to, and then working out that last little bit for 7 stars. Trying to think who else I have. Embo, I'm finally getting back to. So, yeah, Visas Mars, another one. She's at 65 of 100, so I'm really close with her also. So it's going to be like one after another for a while. Mm-hmm. And none of it's going to be gear.
So many thoughts.
Yeah, none of it's going to be gear because, geez, I got to gear 11, and Darth Revan and HK and Bastila are just sucking the life out of me as far as what gear they require to go from gear 11 to gear 12. But I'm working on it. It's just going to take. It's going to take a while.
Yeah. That gear is just always a mountain to climb, which will lead us into a conversation a little bit further in the show. But until then, again, not a lot going on with Star Wars news. Celebrations is kind of a big black hole. We're not going to really get anything substantial until then. But
there was a little bit of a leak there.
Yeah, there was this episode 9 poster supposedly that came out. I don't quite buy it, but it's kind of janky looking. If it's a final product, they need to go back to the drawing board. But I could see this being a either really good fan mock-up or maybe what's the word? Like a prototype.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a rough scan also. As someone trying to get it out and export the image real low res quality just to kind of get it out to let people see. But the thing that has me excited about it is they actually show
spoilers if you don't want to know anything about anything.
Well,
the
part I've been excited about. I mean, it's been kind of a spoiler since the first new set of this trilogy was the Knights of Ren are actually on the poster. Whether it actually means anything, who knows? Because they were in the original trailer, and guess what? You saw none of them.
Yeah, they were on there. The thing that caught my eye was C-3PO was on there with a bowcaster, like just full up Rambo pose, ready to light somebody up.
Well, when you're the Golden God, I mean, you have to show him how to use a bowcaster every once in a while.
I guess so. He is fluent in over 3 billion forms of violence.
That's right, and destruction. So he has to show it off at some point. Might as well be the ninth movie he's in.
C-3P. Oh my God, he's got a bowcaster.
That's right. They're just setting up for a new C-3PO in the game. That's all it is. It really has nothing to do with the plot line. It's just really just set up
offense on him now.
Yeah, that's right. He started attacking, blowing things up. It's all set up for the game.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the game, they did have a fluff piece on the Star Wars show you can find on YouTube with it focusing on Darth Revan coming to the game. They interviewed some CG staff. Nothing substantial, no real in-game theory, but it was a fun little watch. It showed that the people working on the game, or at least the ones they interviewed, care about the franchise. They know the lore, they know the characters, they know what they're talking about, and they enjoy making the game. So that was pretty cool to see.
Well, obviously they know the lore because they did the Old Republic for basically a year.
Right. Yeah, well, they at least know that.
Yeah, if they didn't know any of the lore, Knights of the Old Republic would not be in there at all. So we would have been in Clone Wars a long time ago.
Right.
Like when we originally said it.
So that was a cool little piece. The only thing that kind of bugs me when they do these pieces, and they do this whenever they had R2D2 came out, they're like, hey, go find the game in the App Store, play as Darth Revan today. Well, I guess you could if you got a couple $1,000.
I was gonna say, depends on how much you're willing to spend, right?
Yeah, so it's a little disingenuous to phrase it that way, but yeah, whatever, is what it is.
That's right. But yeah, so I don't really know if there's anything. You have any other news there?
The last little thing that kind of got me excited is they announced a new audio production. I do like to listen to the audiobooks, and this is basically the same thing with a fuller cast. It's called Lost Jedi, I believe. It's about Count Dooku and Asajj Ventress, kind of going into his backstory, why he left the Jedi Order. So it's pretty interesting. I love that era. This isn't something that's been, to my knowledge, delved into a lot. So, and the more Asajj Ventress you get, the better. So,
is that going to be more of a start another petition and everything to get Asajj Ventress a Sith tag?
Maybe, I don't know. they need bounty hunter Asajj. That would be cool.
Yeah, Asajj is a weird one because you go through her connection with Dooku, you kind of make her seem like a Sith apprentice, which would make her have the Sith tag. She did have a whole aspect where she was a bounty hunter too. Ah, man,
she's just a really good character. She is.
Yes, overall, I think she is a very good character and very interesting character that I think in the game deserves a lot more tags than she currently has.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to put that on the notes. Clone Wars left Netflix yesterday, so I was going in kind of hitting some of the high note episodes. I did watch the Night Sister, Dathomir arc, watched the Mortis arc.
Yeah, it's basically the wrapping up of all these agreements Disney has with a whole bunch of streaming services to bring them all onto their own platform. So it should be interesting to see that new platform come out and all the movies and everything start rolling off of different platforms and just going through and being able to be found on this Disney streaming service.
Yeah, yep. Can't wait for the new season of Clone Wars.
Yes. So we have that on the calendar, the new Clone Wars thing. But CG also went through and kind of updated their calendar, and they did announce a major event coming back.
Yeah, and I hate that we lost that episode because you nailed it.
Yeah, I talked about going through. I was like, I went through and got halfway through my Darth Revan farm and just had this moment of panic that I didn't think my bounty hunter ships were anywhere close to where they needed for the Millennium Falcon, and I felt like it was going to come back sooner rather than later. I was thinking here at the end of the month, going towards May the 4th, so it's even coming back earlier than I thought. But yeah, I did have that moment of panic, and I have been farming pretty hard, doing a couple refreshes a day to try to get those ships wrapped up, and it seems like it's going to pay off for me, and am going to be able to get the Millennium Falcon at 7 stars and not have to spend any extra crystals or anything for it.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
that's coming back.
Yeah, it may not be day one, but it will be by the end of the event. That's for sure.
Look, speaking of the calendar, this is a busy month. We've got a lot of the heroic events coming back. The journey characters are coming back. We've got Jedi Knight Revan coming back at the end of the month, or henceforth known as Kevin for Knight Revan.
Yes, we realized we were getting lost with ourselves between Grand Arena and Territory Wars and arenas on how to distinguish everybody. So we have Kevin and Devin.
All right, Jedi Knight Revan and Darth Revan. So Devin and Kevin. There you go. Right. Now you know. Get your cheat sheet out. That's what we're going with from now on. So we're recording on the 7th. We've got the Chewbacca event going on now. We're in the middle of a 5v5 Grand Arena. We've got a Territory War in the preview phase. Nothing too exciting coming up. Contraband Cargo on the 10th. Again, the Falcon coming back on the 11th. Grand Arena 5 versus 5v5 with ships. Another territory war with character bonuses on the 11th. Have you looked at what bonuses those are yet?
I did not. I don't even know if they actually even said anything about them.
I don't remember. I don't recall seeing it. We'll look that up later.
I honestly think they said something. I honestly think they said something about they will be coming up with a future update. So I'd imagine when they actually put the Millennium Falcon into the game, as far as the calendar date, that's going to show up. But I have no idea, honestly.
Yeah, we'll look into it. The 12th is Friday. Again, that's Celebration starts. We'll get the episode 9 trailer that morning, and life will be good. Looking toward the end of the month, again, we've got Luke Skywalker's journey coming back. We've got Daring Droid coming back. We have got Rey's journey coming back. We've got Pieces and Plans. So if you need a legendary character, now's your chance.
There seems to be one glaring missing piece in all this. There's no marquee characters. There's no real new events. There's no new game mode or anything. So it is a really odd place, and CG seems to have been very quiet recently. I mean, we had Darth Revan come out, and they kind of went through and did a little blurb on that. But other than Darth Revan, we really haven't had anything major in the game at all since the new year. Actually, even before that, really. But we had that big lull right after Jedi Knight Revan. So we've had a very long period of like no big information or even big marquee characters or anything within the game recently. So hopefully you might be getting some good news in Celebration, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. We haven't had a marquee character since February 23rd.
Yeah, and that was, what, Droidica? Yeah, we had Droidica and B1, and those are the only 2 characters we really had, right?
Yeah, for marquees. Now we've had the Galactic Chase events for the Emperor Shuttle and Ebon Hawk. So I guess the last new unit added to the game would have been the Ebon Hawk on March 8th. Yeah, we are definitely overdue for something. And we used to could look at the calendar and just it'd be plain as day when a marquee event was coming. This month, that's a little harder to do. Just spitballing, maybe the 10th, maybe around the 18th. The calendar gets a little lighter, the 25th. But man, there's just so much stuff going on. They are trying to finish up their fiscal quarter.
Well, their fiscal year is done.
I'm sorry. Yep.
It did end right there, kind of towards the end of the
March.
Event. Yeah. So they are into a new year. Fiscal year. They should be going through getting hopefully a quarterly update. So we should
we should get the road ahead pretty soon.
Yeah.
I think CG Carey's in Hawaii on vacation.
And then going to Celebration, so...
yeah, so we may get something there, may get something after Celebration when they get back and kind of get settled back in the office, but hopefully soon. She said it was in the approval process, so there could be quite a bit coming out, and I think there could be for this one.
I mean, hopefully. I mean, we've been going through and saying this for a while. It's kind of like Night Sisters. If you say it enough, it's bound to happen. And the game mode they haven't touched in the longest amount of time, and that is the stalest, is territory battles. And we have been going through and saying Clone Wars would be a great thematic piece to actually make a territory battle map out of. You go through, you have Separatists and the Republic and clones. They both need reworks. You can go through and add new characters. There's plenty of characters to put in around that era also. So hopefully we've seen this before and been let down, but it seems like it's coming. The stars seem to be aligning a little bit more and more every day. I'm just hoping it's finally going to happen, because we went through, finally got our 48 star in territory battles. So guild-wise, we're ready for it. I hope they go through and take territory battles in a little bit different direction as far as the scoring system goes, where it relies more on combat waves completed, the combat missions completed, rather than just pure guild GP, because it really doesn't benefit you to go through and say, oh, I'm carried up by a very high GP guild, and that way we get rewards. It has no strategy or there's no upside to it. I don't see the upside of just going through and saying, hey, we just got a whole bunch of high GP people in our guild. That way we can get better rewards and everything.
Right, and especially now when there's active reasons to not inflate your GP with Grand Arena matchmaking and things like that. And I know we've talked about this new territory battle map probably every episode or every other episode for eternity now. But just so many things are lining up behind the scenes with the kind of code strings about choosing the territory battle map, guild officers, the road ahead post that they talked about, new ways of getting characters. Again, we'll talk about the hard node attempt adjustment, and I think this will tie into that as well. So again, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that I do think is leaning toward a new territory battles map, with B2 being the login character.
Yeah, like
Clone Wars, I think, is the.
Well, I mean, yes, but it would be nice if it just meant more droids, and we're looking at Doc Afra and 000 and getting the murder bots in there. That would be a very nice tie-in that I would like. But it
would be, but I think really with Celebration, one of the big events is the new season of Clone Wars. They're going to preview that. There's a lot of focus on the prequel trilogy right now. It's the 20th anniversary of the Phantom Menace.
I was going to say a lot of the actors you went through and said that was going to be a Celebration. A lot of them are the prequel trilogy also.
Yes. Yep.
So I guess it does fit, and I hope if B2 Super Battle Droid means that era, I really hope it's either marquee characters that are leading up to a new territory battle map that are going to be like, who do we have to farm? Captain Han Solo?
Yeah.
Or General Stark, and those key factions that we had to farm for certain combat missions and special missions within the territory battle maps, that we're going to be getting those characters dropped into the game to farm for the territory battle map, or they're going to tell us the territory battle map just in general. I'm hoping that's what it means then, and not just, hey, we're going to give you another marquee character and that's it. That would kind of be deflating in my eyes if it's not like a major rework or leading up to a territory battle map.
Yeah, and like you said, territory battle is so stale. They could release a Star Wars Holiday Special theme territory battle map where we got to farm Lumpy, and I'd be thrilled.
Yeah, I mean, light side territory battle map right now, I think there are, when you're getting up towards the upper end, and the people that I shouldn't say care the most, but have been the longest term players that have higher GPs. I mean, light side territory battles, I don't even know if anybody has to do a combat mission anymore to actually go through and get 45 stars on everything right now. I think it might actually be possible just with straight GP, just hitting deploy, that you can go through and get 45 stars. I know our guild can basically do that up to wave 5 of both of them. Wave 6, right. We pretty much have to just go in and just do something on the combat missions and we're fine. So it is very stale. It is very monotonous. There is no real challenge to it. So I hope they go through, reevaluate how territory battle maps have affected the game, which was basically just to inflate GP and nothing else. And actually look at that and actually make it a little bit more worth strategy and gearing certain factions.
Right.
So you went through and mentioned this other piece of information earlier, and was really the only information that we got this week, was a little blurb saying, hey guys, we are returning hard node attempts from 8 to 5 because we originally went through and put the 8 attempts back in to help with panic farms for both Jedi Knight Revan, and kept it through until Darth Revan because we knew they were hard node farms to be able to help you out, get those characters. And they are going back to 5 attempts now.
Yeah, this is pretty much unpopular across the board. I really kind of expected it. We been looking at the marquee release cadence slow down to just a crawl, snail's pace. And we were just talking about how easy it is to get caught up now. And, something like that's not going to last.
Yeah, it is a fine line, though, because all these characters they've been adding to hard nodes recently, they've been going through and placing them on hard nodes where a previous character already is sitting, and then just taking that other character and saying, well, it's on one other hard node. Man, I don't know how I feel about this. It feels really bad because also when you go through and look at the patch notes, when they originally bumped this back up to 8 from 5 the second time, it just says we are increasing hard node attempts from 5 to 8. It says nothing about temporarily. It does not say anything to help you out for Jedi Revan farming or panic farms. It just says we're bumping it back up. They might have said it somewhere else, and we were talking about that earlier, but my thought also is they also told us it was only the Millennium Falcon was only going to require 3 bounty hunter ships, and then they changed that to 5. They have been known to go back through and edit the patch notes to say what they wanted to say, and this one wasn't even edited to say temporarily. It just says we are changing the node attempts.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like something that they wanted to do. It seems like a business model they were directed to do, because a lot of times when they make these statements, if it's something they're happy about, they're going to give it a little more oomph and pizzazz. This was just a bare bones, hey, we're doing this. We're also lowering mod salvage cost.
Yeah.
Any questions, take it to the forums. It was real cut and dry.
And the other thought was, be grateful we don't revert back to 3 like we originally had it.
Yeah.
Because that was a thing, and I kind of knew that, but I forgot about it when we were going through and we were discussing how things have changed within the game. And we were talking about the original hard node farms being like Royal Guard. And I think Rey was also a hard node only farm at one point also. And those took forever because you could only do 3 attempts. And that was the biggest pain and the longest farm. So as soon as someone got in the game, you're like, go ahead and start that Royal Guard farm because he's an awesome character and he's going to take forever to get the 7 stars.
Yeah. Now, on this whole change, I am going to preserve judgment until we see just a little bit more. This, to me, feels like an example of, and we've seen them do this before, taking something away without giving something in return. That's classic marketing. If you're going to do something negative, give some sugar to let the medicine go down. But just kind of looking at what's going on with the game, we do have a much slower marquee release. I mean, absolute crawl of marquee release. So it's not this constant, every week there's a new hard node character. So right now it is possible to get caught up if you've been playing a long time or have spent some money along the way. There are extra ways of releasing characters. They're doing the galactic chases. They've introduced the galactic bounty events that really give you some good character stars if you're working on those. The problem is perception. New players, they don't care that much about Baze and Chirrut. It's old news. They're looking forward to new hotness. They want Darth Revan. They want to play with the players that have been around a while. So they have a much bigger hill to climb than we even did, when we started the game. So there's got to be a way to balance this out. They've got to speed up that early to mid-game farm to at least give the impression and feeling that you're able to catch up.
I mean, I don't even know about early game because early game is still worth going after basically Phoenix to get Thrawn and kind of carry you through a progression of legendary events. But that mid game, I mean, you get to a certain point, you have Jedi Knight Revan, Darth Revan, even the bounty hunters now, the Millennium Falcon for the ships. They're going through and they drop it down to 5, and then it's going through. It's like you can only get those characters by either spending crystals now, or it's going to take even longer because they're only hard node farms and they're only 5 attempts. And I've seen so many people say, well, I left the game for a little bit, or they started the game and came back and they're like, I left because there just never seemed to be a point where I was ever going to be able to catch up without spending serious money. That is also a bad position to be in the game, because any new player you have is going to go through and say, well, I'm never going to be able to catch up, so why am I even playing? And then ditch. It's going to very difficult.
Yeah, I've seen it happen with some players, in the celebration discords I'm in. We talk about the game and they're curious. It's like, oh yeah, I played this a couple years ago. Is that still a thing? Like, yeah, man, we're still updating, still new characters. They re-download it, they jump in, or like, I'm too far behind. Me and old Captain Phasma, we're not getting anywhere. So yeah, y'all have fun. Bye.
Yeah, it's very hard to get players to come back into the game because of that.
But I think there are ways that they could do that. There's a lot of places in the game that haven't been touched in a long time. That wouldn't hurt to add some new characters. Bronzium packs, assault battles. A lot of those haven't had their loot pool updated in a while. Shops. I know they've said they weren't going to update them, but come on.
Yeah, the shops would be a good spot, or even Bronzium, changing Bronziums where you have two separate types of Bronzium. You can either do character shards or just gear and update both of them and just have two straight pools.
Yeah, throw more of them in the weekly shipment stores for Bronzium.
Yep.
You can do that. Another one that's kind of bugged me a while is the fleet energy refresh cost. It seems a little high. I think if you cut that in half, especially with the lower hard node chances, it's going to take forever to farm a ship now.
Yeah. So it just seems to be going through and increasing that separation between the top long-term players and those mid to upper mid-range players that are those upper mid-range players. They're using those 8 attempts to go through, get caught up, trying to go through and make that next jump into a better guild, better arena payout, because they're finally able to wrap up these farms and not so much get ahead, but catch up. And now they're taking that back away. So it's going to be really discouraging, I think, to a lot of people, where it's like, oh, I'm finally getting caught up, until all of a sudden having the rug pulled right out from under them.
Yeah. And there's the business sense too. If you feel like there's no friction there's no impetus to buy crystals or buy gear or anything like that, because you can just farm it. And of course they don't want that. They want you to feel like, hey, maybe I would buy a crystal pack here and there just to speed it up just a little bit, because that is the business model of the game.
Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit here and there, is, like you said, it's that give and take, and they're taking away and they aren't giving any incentive, and that taking away just seems to be hurting anybody coming into the game or coming back into the game to try to get caught up. They seem to be taking that away now, which is really discouraging to me, because you think you would want to try to grow that player base by encouraging and having people have that sense of being able to get caught up and actually compete with those upper end players eventually because of this.
Like I said, I am going to withhold judgment. I think there are some more pieces here that we haven't seen yet. So I'm going to see how the road ahead goes, see what the next few marquee releases look like, what the cadence of that turns out to be. Because, from the hard node farm in kind of a month at least, there's nothing for me to farm.
Yeah.
So if the next one is not scheduled to hit the tables until probably May 9th. So I've got another 3 weeks of nothing to farm. So, if that's the case, yeah, there's plenty of time to get caught up on 5 shards. And, hell, maybe they're going to increase the drop rate on shards. Yeah. Yeah, I know you're laughing. Don't choke on your drink, but it's a possibility. Just saying.
You live in a interesting world in your head there.
Hey, trying to be optimistic. We'll see. Everything. This is a zero-sum game, or I probably said that wrong, but if something gives in one area, you're going to make it up somewhere else. And this is probably, it's a balancing act. They're looking at the data, they're adjusting and twerking things, tweaking things. They might be twerking it too. Who
Twerking
knows?
things? Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Someone's
That-
getting ready for celebration, looking up what the kids' slang is before they
Nah,
go.
It's
Oh dear.
yeah. It's gonna be this really why it's taking so long to get the road ahead approved. They got to up the rating of the game.
They're twerking it out.
Yeah, it's gonna be a T-rated game now. It's a whole ordeal.
Did you catch that at JC Penney's?
Yeah. Oh man, I saw this Boba Fett shirt, which I don't know if it was designed that way or if it was a misprint, but the Star Wars logo was just jacked up. It just looked like Star Wars.
That's how you get around copyrights. If
I
no one can
guess.
actually read it, but you can kind of get a sense on what it is. It's all right.
Right. That's old Boba Fred.
Yeah, that's
He's,
right.
He's pretty cool. Well, yeah, we're joking around, kind of going into the old news here, but Carbonite Han April Fool's joke.
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean,
Let's see.
we have not talked about the Finn rework finally hit. They did finally go through and give us the Zeta refund because they said it was a fundamental change to his kit, which it was a fundamental change to his kit when they first announced it.
Yeah, I'm glad they saw the light and listened to the opinions of the fans and went ahead and did a Zeta refund. That was the right call to make. I appreciate it. Did you put the Zeta back on Finn?
No.
I did not either.
He went to HK. That Zeta went to HK, and then I've been saving up with that little teaser of Malik at the very end of the Darth Revan event. Made me believe another big character may be showing up soon. So I was going through, and I have 2 Zetas saved currently that I can go through, and I think I'm going to keep in the bank in case that character does come up in some sort of legendary event. If it's a marquee event, I'll just blow through him and kind of time it out when he becomes farmable. But the rework came out. People were going through, trying out. Finn can still solo the Heroic AT, although it's a modified team with JTR lead rather than Finn. He's still a very good character. Yes, the Zeta is still good. But like we said originally when we saw this kit, we thought the fundamental change was going to be this team is going to go from a team that could compete at a low gear level to one that was going to have to be gear 12, properly modded. Still a great team. You're just going to have a much higher investment into the team rather than just slapping on a Zeta and leaving them at gear 10, maybe gear 11 and getting by. And that does seem to be the case. Still a good Zeta, still a very good character, just needs to be gear 12 now.
Right, yeah. Gear requirement is a lot higher. He'll go on my back burner. I'm not too interested in Heroic AT solo or not. God, I don't care about that raid at all anymore.
Yeah, I don't. It is what it is. The gear is horrible. That whole gear drop system and that whole thing needs to be revamped. I mean, they did a decent thing with the Rancor with the simming and the drop boxes. I just wish they would have went through and gave us more currency so you could buy what you want rather than those random RNG boxes. But that's just where I'm sitting, especially for guilds that have hit that point.
Yeah, and Rogue AT just needs to be simmed. And CG, I don't know what you need to do, but our officer corps needs some help with time zones and launching and all of that. Can you make it idiot proof? We had the biggest train wreck of raids with a European time change, and
no, I don't think the Europeans did time change this year. I think they got rid of it, and that's what was throwing everything off.
I don't know.
The U.S. had
happened.
A time zone change, and Europe didn't, and just it was an utter mess. And that's what daylight savings time does to everybody.
Yeah, get rid of it.
Whatever. I don't know. It doesn't happen often, so I was just like, okay, well, that is what it is. We'll go from there.
All right. I guess the other biggest news is we're on the kind of shakeout of Darth Revan Devin coming to the game, and he has made some moves.
Yes, we are finally out of the 90, pretty much a 90% Kevin meta, and now we are in the Kevin Devin meta.
Yeah, and Devin has the lead right now. He is at 46%, whereas Kevin is down to 30% as far as leads go. And
is that just for first place or that top 10?
It's for first place.
Okay.
For top 10, it's about the same. 42% for Devin, 35% for Kevin, helps at 16%. So, when Revan came out and wasn't immediately just dominating everything, people were kind of poo-pooing the characters, like, oh, this guy sucks. It's easy, you suck, everything sucks, everything's the worst. But this is really allowed to meta to, in my opinion, improve. We have a pretty strong rock, paper, scissors. Now you can win on offense with a few more teams that are viable now. Defense, hey, nothing holds on defense, but Darth Traya has a place now. Commander Luke Skywalker has a place now. Emperor Palpatine has a place now. He can actually wreck shop on Darth Revan.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, there's a ton of teams now as far as even you have Devin, but Devin tends to be with HK and Bastila, and then those last couple slots are just a hodgepodge of characters. I've seen him with Night Sister Zombie and Mother Talzin, Sith Trooper and Thrawn, General Kenobi and Thrawn, Scion and Thrawn. I've seen the Triumvirate with Bastila and Darth Revan. I've seen someone actually go through and actually put Yoda in there. Just a really quick Grandmaster Yoda to throw up the tenacity up on everybody to clear out a Devin team. So
right.
They just seem to be Darth Nihilus and Traya together. There's many different combinations of these teams that seem to be working in different combinations. Like you said, Emperor Palpatine to go up and counter Devin. Jeez.
Yeah, it's cool. The craziest thing to me about all of this is the character usage meta. We have a new queen of the leaderboard as far as character usage. Who do you think that is now?
Is it Darkside Bastila?
It is.
All right.
She is in 61% of number one teams now.
That I can believe, because going through, if you're using Traya, you're putting Bastila in. If you're using Devin, you're using Bastila. I thought this originally when we saw the kit that she was going to become much more prevalent within the arena meta, just because where kit was done and fear, that whole thing just seems to be great as a character.
Yeah, so she's 61%. Darth Revan's at 58%. Our boy, HK, 45% in third place.
Shooting down meat bags.
Sith Trooper is above Grandmaster Yoda.
Oh, don't tell me that. Oh,
he's at 39%. Grandmaster Yoda's 31%. And man, it's a whole bunch of has-beens going down the list. Grand Admiral Thrawn's 15%.
Yeah, you're just killing my hopes and dreams here with the Sith, because man, my great Sith, my Sith Trooper is gear 8. Oh, I have some work to do on my arena teams, apparently.
Yeah, that's a fun one to gear too, let me tell you. like all the tanks.
Yeah, thanks for that. Encouraging words, because I have to gear up Old Ben to finish off Sith Trooper. Yeah, way too many tanks, because they're all sitting at gear 10 and gear 11, because I just didn't... The gear just seemed painful to me at the time.
Yeah, well, makes you feel better. We did have one person use Ugnaught.
Ah, yeah, that does make me feel better.
So there you go.
It's a bold move. It's a bold move.
It is, yeah. All right, let's that wraps up the meta report. We typically don't do that, but with such a shakeout, I thought it'd be interesting to kind of see where we're at.
Well, I want to go over one other thing that what Devin actually has brought into the game is this team seems to be much, much more dependent on modding than Jedi Knight Revan ever has been. yeah, you could go through and, depending on how you modded, make the team more difficult on defense, but you were still able to get around teams. Devin, you need that team properly modded, and you need proper speed on them. You need proper health on Bastila. You need offense on HK-47. Otherwise, that team just doesn't seem to work as well, can get run over fairly easily. The better the mods, the better that team holds, and the better that team looks. Jedi Revan you can get around, though. So I do kind of like that, where it's requiring a certain set of mods to make the teams better, or even a certain way to mod older teams to compete against this new team also. Seems to be a really cool idea, and actually starting to stress mods more because of that.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot more focus on 6-dot mods as well, whereas you used to get by with just a matching set and a luxury 6-dot here or there. Now I think characters are being tuned with 6-dot mods in mind. You look at Fallen Bastila, she's so squishy. If you kill her right away, she's a non-factor. But you mod her right, get those 6-dot mods for survivability, and she's the number one character in the game.
Yeah, you go through and those 6-dot mods, which is killing me, is because all my good speed mods for like those circles are all protection. I really don't want to actually slice them up to 6-dot mods, because protection isn't that big of a jump. It's the health that's a major factor when you're going to 6-dot mods.
Well, yeah, like protection's good like one time. It's gonna let's have protection recovery, but it's gonna let you be initially survivable. But all of the things that are based off of health, you do end up getting a lot more payoff there.
Yeah, so I see where they're going. I am liking that, and that focus more on properly modding a team, and how you can actually change older teams up to compete just by the way they focus on characters, or needing tenacity or defense to be able to survive an initial onslaught. And then you can run over a team just by properly or remodding a team. So I do like that. Yeah,
for sure. So we're going to keep watching the Darth Revan meta shakeout, see how it plans out. Malik's on the horizon somewhere. Sure, it's going to shake it up even more. With the other big thing with the meta, which I forgot to mention earlier, with Millennium Falcon coming back, I think we're about to get a shake-up in ships. And that kind of ties back into the Separatist thing, the new territory battle map. I think we're finally going to get that new capital ship pretty soon. Maybe it will be a direct counter to the Millennium Falcon meta.
Maybe that new capital ship's in the Guild event currency.
Could be.
Yeah, it could be a territory battle reward. So it could be a whole bunch of different things. I do think you're right with that. But at the same time, look how long it took after the second Jedi Knight Revan event to come out for a shift in the arena meta. So we could still be looking at, month and a half, 2 months for that shift to happen.
It could be.
I definitely do agree with you that it is coming, but I'm not sure if it's as soon as you're thinking.
No, I do think that with Millennium Falcon coming back, they will give the new players a good month or so to play with their new toy before it gets nerfed.
Yeah.
Or not nerfed, but, outclassed.
The next shiny thing comes out.
Right.
But, yeah. So we're in agreement that is coming out here within probably this fiscal quarter, I would imagine.
I think so, yeah. That would probably be a safe bet.
Yeah, so speaking of things coming out, what are we looking at with the Marquee Watch?
Okay, well, some of this depends on what your opinion of the Galactic Chase events are. Now, they have gone into shipments. Mm-hmm. Emperor Shuttle hit March 25th. Going off of that cadence, we should get Ebon Hawk around April 25th. So the next step we're not quite sure on. If they follow a cadence to farm, like a normal release, then probably around May 9th, we'll see the Emperor Shuttle hit the tables for free to play somewhere. What we do know is we have B1 and Droidekas are only marquee characters out there. They hit the shipments in the into March, March 25th and 27th, which puts them free to play no later than May 9th and May 15th, maybe a week sooner than that. So I could see Star Wars Day, May 4th, them hitting free to play.
Could either be that, or I would say the week after, just because there's so many. Typically, they do double drops and have special events for that week that I can see them holding that off until the next week and just leaving everything else for May the 4th.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, either way, it's within some sort of week right there, give or take, to be able to go through and farm them. I could see them maybe the week before. That way people have double drops to go after them that first week. So who knows? So we have those that I know you're eyeing up to bump and grind on, but currently, what are you bumping and grinding on?
Right now, I'm just gearing. I've been spending a lot of crystals on gear lately. Yeah, nothing else to farm. Trying to get teams up for our territory war commander so he don't yell at me. Trying to speed up my Sith Assassin, my Sith Marauder, my Django.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to gear them up fast I can, and that's really it. The only thing else I have to work on is Anakin's ship. And I have been going hard on that since they made the announcement of dropping the attempts. And I am currently trying to find where I'm at on that. I think I'm about 70 of 100, so I'm almost done.
Okay, yeah. That's within the range. You'll probably be able to finish them up before the hard nodes drop down, or actually very close to it where it's not going to affect you really. So
yeah, so that's 78 of 100. So
yeah, you're definitely going to be in that range. Because
that's it.
I'm kind of in the same boat where I'm going through. I'm gearing up that Darth Revan team, so still working on Darth Revan, HK, Bassa. Like I said, they need to go from gear 11 to gear 12, which is just a pain. But as soon as I get those 3 characters up, then I can start mixing and matching the characters I do have to actually run Devin into Arena. So I'm really excited about that. Really kind of excited about remodding that team. We'll see how that goes. But other than that, like I said, I was panicked about the ship. Xanadu Blood's at 94 of 100, so that will get done this week. IG 2000 is 54 of 100, so going hard, getting that finished up before the event wraps up so I can have Millennium Falcon at 7 stars. Django is at 48 of 100, trying to wrap that up beforehand. Cantina, just slowly eating away with Sith Marauder, 46 of 85. So moved on Fleet Battles to Sith Fighter because, it was either that or Annie's ETA, and I have like we talked about, I have a feeling something with Sith ships are going to happen. So jumping on that train to get them up just in case.
Yeah. I think it's a good call.
Yeah, nothing, it does sound like a lot that I'm farming, but it's really just the tail end of a lot of farms. So I'll be able to go through, wrap them up, get them out of there. That way I can get onto farms that I really want to, or have been looking at for a long time, like Range Trooper and Embo are the 2 that I'm actually pretty excited about getting to and finishing up.
Yeah, I think I want to gear Embo next because for whatever reason, he still just surprises me in Grand Arena. He will just wreck shop if you don't control him.
There's just so many characters. When Embo came out, and to some extent Django, it's not that they were bad characters. It's not that they didn't fit into anything or could compete. They could. They're really good, except the timing just went right into Jedi Knight Revan. So everybody dropped those farms and went after Jedi Knight Revan. Jedi Knight Revan finished and everybody switched to Darth Revan. It was just one thing after another. Millennium Falcon was in there also. So they I think C-3PO was also in there, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's like going through, it's like everybody's wanting to farm these characters and gear them up, but every time they tried to go back to them, a new panic farm would show up and they're like, all right, crap, I need to go after them now. I need to get this one done. So it is a good feeling to be able to go back with Embo and Django and finally be able to gear them up, because those bounty hunters, they do make 2 very solid teams.
They do, yeah. And that's another argument for a faster farm rate. We're just now seeing a lot of people able to get to these characters and play around with them because this opportunity cost of farming them versus the meta teams or the teams you need for the latest journey characters is just too high. So we're finally seeing some of these teams that can get out there and succeed. Zam Wessel lead teams are out there doing some work. And you don't see that when everybody's forced in this little tunnel. So the more flexibility the community has to get out there and try new things, the better off for the game is. Because now, where I was content to ignore Imbo altogether and just let him sit at the bottom of my roster, now I have an interest in gearing him up.
Yeah, I always wanted to go through with the Bounty Hunter teams in Grand Arena and mix and match them. So, yeah. Excited. We're getting there. So you could speed up that farm, but for less than the price of a signature of your favorite Star Wars actor, you could have had Darth Revan like I did.
Could have,
and did. So I'm still very proud of that I was able to time those farms out and actually get those drop rates needed at the very end for Karth to be able to do that. So still very proud of that. So let's wrap this up. Wash down these walls for you. That way, when you come back from Celebration, we have a nice spick and span and clean panic room for you to walk into.
And I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. I'm gonna do the lucky dance, whatever it takes to get this thing actually out to the internet this time.
Yeah, yeah. We will get this one out. I promise.
Right. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, y'all know the deal, or maybe you don't. This has been so long, but it leaves a review on iTunes, podcast server of choice, wherever. This helps us grow, helps us improve. If you want, email us, cantinabizzle@gmail.com. Biggest ways, find us on Discord. Shout out to our new members. Check us out on the alliancegaming.com with awesome other content creators. And last but definitely not least, if you're so inclined, check us out on patreon.com/CantinaVizsla, ZSLA. Tip jar is out. It helps keep the show going. It helps us grow, helps us do some giveaways and fun things that we would like to do for the community without breaking the bank.
Yeah, for sure. So until next time, guys, we love you. Find us on Discord. See ya.
As you are exiting the cantina, we would like to say thanks for stopping by, and we hope to see you out on the holotables soon.